Been using my Hogue Mysto at work lately. This is in Magnacut steel. And I have put some chips into this guy, which is actually surprising because my Hogue Deca is in Magnacut and I've never experienced this sort of chipping issue in that knife, so not sure what the difference is, but something's definitely going on. I've been asked several times if you can sharpen Magnacut on Shapton Pro or Nanowa Pro. I've never tried it, so I figured I'd give this a whirl. One buddy told me he has sharpened his on the Nanowa 400, which is basically the Chosera 400. He said there was no issue, so I don't think there's going to be a problem. This steel was designed by a knife user and knife enthusiast, steel nerd, so I'm sure it's got some kind of sharpenability for aluminum oxide stones. First things first, cut the edge off. And you can do this several ways. You can invert the knife at a really high angle like this and grind until you get past that chip, or you can just follow the same bevel, go back and forth until you grind past it. I'm probably going to do a little combination of both. I'm going to concentrate quite a bit in the area that's chipped so I don't wear too much in the tip or this main flat. It just seems to be in this little location right where the belly is, so let's get started. I'm not sure where the angle is. This is a Shapton 120 and holding at my standard angle. I've already got a burr across this thing, so let's drop it down a little bit. Okay, I'm hitting the whole bevel now. You can see my new scratches. Tip is a little wonky. We'll have to address that. Looks like that first chip is already ground out. Just got to get that big one. I may not need to invert this knife after all. Hopefully you can see this is fairly straight back here. When you come to this side, we've got a little bit of a waviness going on. Looks like this knife was ground two different angles. It's becoming more and more commonplace. Bad main grinds they're compensating for. I did have a burr on the other side, so I'm just gonna keep flipping that burr. Get it bigger and bigger till I grind past that damage and see if I can straighten this out some. Almost got it completely removed. I gotta admit, I'm pretty surprised how quickly Magnacut developed a burr. This is a 320 Shapton Pro. I'm just breaking it out mainly to get the scratches from 120 removed. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. Thousand grit. This is my final stone, Shapton 5000. My finger keeps slipping off this tip. It does not want to stay on there. Now this side is real wonky because it's basically got two different bevels. This, I'll show you when we get closer. This high side towards the shoulder is at a lower angle, so it's probably sitting at 15, 12 degrees, somewhere in that ballpark. The clip side is probably around 15 degrees. So sharpening both sides at 15 degrees makes the show side really wide, and it doesn't match up to the clip side. I can polish that out just so it's kind of uniform, but it's not going to look the greatest. That bevel is going to be a little wide, but I'm going to go ahead and do it at least a little bit. As this knife is sharpened, that will eventually grind into that area and even everything out. To do it in one sitting, though, is just a waste of steel. It's not going to affect performance. It's 100% an aesthetic issue. And these scratches might be a little too much for the 5K. Getting some of them out, but they're just a little too deep for the 5K to completely remove. Drop on my Kanagroo Strop. I've got CBN emulsion at 1 micron on this side, 0.5 micron on this side. I think it's CBN. This may be Gunny Juice. I don't recall. They both have the same color. It's one or the other. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Strop Northwest knife guy made for me. I don't use it too often. I really like Kangaroo. This is one I kind of bring out only for razor blades or a really nice knife that I'm trying to get a really pretty edge on. I could have did a little more work in the back here. That's not too bad. Same for this thing. Definitely see that shoulder area. Not the prettiest, but chip's definitely gone. This is a pretty thick wedgy knife, but slicing well enough. If I can quit tearing the paper, hit it at the right angle, Jeffrey. Hopefully you guys can see those numbers. I'll read them out regardless. That is 142. It is 108. $166. The Bess C average came out to about 139. Obviously not the greatest. I would probably recommend, although it is capable with Shapton Pro, I would still recommend using Veneve or some sort of diamond or silicon carbide to sharpen Magnacut. Just needs to take a better edge. Now granted, this Hogue is, like I said, pretty thick and wedgy. Not the greatest slicer, that is for sure. But that result's not very good in my opinion. It responded well. The stones cut, the steel reacted. I got a burr with no problems. Take that for what it's worth. Can it be done? Absolutely. Do I recommend it? Probably not. I would most likely go with my Gratomatic stones. Is it necessary? No. Alright guys, hopefully this is helpful to some of you. If not, feel free to shoot me any questions you have. Appreciate you watching. You have a good one.